for Gab. So let's pull. Actually, let's pull Melissa in now. We're just going to pull Melissa in. Right, Melissa, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being so flexible on the schedule. I really appreciate that, and we're really happy to have you here. And we want to learn about your little one. We want to learn about Teresa. So tell us your story. Tell us how CDH has affected your family. Tell us about your angel.
I can feel myself crying right now.
It's okay.
So she was born in on September 30th, 2010. We had no clue. We were promised a healthy baby girl. And she was born, and she let out a little squeak, nothing big, and my OBGYN automatically put her on oxygen, and it blew out her right lung. NICU was called, and the NICU doctor who saw her knew exactly what she had. Noticed that her abdomen was dipping down, and just flew off with her down the hall to the local NICU there. And about an hour later, I think, I don't know, they brought me down, and they said, well, your daughter has a less than 10% chance to make it through the night. Are you okay with putting her onto ECMO? I had no idea what ECMO was. My phone was in my room, and I couldn't Google anything. We had no clue. I said, do whatever you can, save her. So she was on ECMO for about 3 weeks. And we didn't know the effects what ECMO was going to do for being on it for such a long time. What we did know is that she had clots in all of her little fingers and toes. They were turning black from being on ECMO for so long. So our doctor, her neonatologist, finally got her off ECMO and did surgery the same day. She had everything up. Her liver was up, everything. But he was very surprised because she had 50% of her lung. So that was good. We thought that was really, really good. It was a good thing. But what we didn't know is that the effects of ECMO was still, and I'm not blaming ECMO at all. It's what happens. They told us that she can get clots. We knew it. What we didn't know is that she had a clot in the main artery going through her brain, stopping oxygenated blood going through her brain, and her brain has stopped growing. She had a clot in her spleen and one below her heart. We didn't know this until she was alive for 56 days. But from right after the surgery, she got better, and then she just went downhill. Everything, she was getting infection on top of infection, and they didn't know how or why she was getting so mean, or why she wasn't fighting them off. So we were told the day before Thanksgiving, they finally took her down and did an MRI CAT scan because she was having seizures. And that's when they found all the clots. And they said, well, they can give her a clot breaking up drug, but it's for adults and not meant for babies. That they didn't know what the damage that was going to do, but she would never be a normal child. So me and my husband, we went home and we talked and we prayed, and we knew it was time to just let her go.
You're doing great, Teresa.
So the day after Thanksgiving, we decided to let her go, and she took 1 or 2 breaths in my arm after they took her breathing tube out, and she passed away. The effect what it's had on my family is it's been hard, but we're trying our darndest to get back to normal. And this CDH group, I've only been with you guys for a few years now, has brought me a lot of hope. And I know I'm no longer walking this path alone. So I'm very thankful for that.
Well, I'm very sorry for your loss. I wish you hadn't gone through what you went through. I wish you still had Teresa here with you. I'm glad you found us. I'm sorry we didn't find you. I'm sorry we weren't there when you were going through this, Melissa. We've shared a lot of stories today. We've shared a lot of diverse stories about dealing with CDH, and we've been very heavy on the survivor stories, not intentionally. That's just how it worked out. But your story is unfortunately so common, especially with ECMO complications. It's a lifesaver in some cases, but it has its own set of complications and risk outside of CDH, and it is so common, the blood clots on ECMO, and it's not fair, and I'm sorry. And you coming here and sharing Teresa's story and letting the world know this side of CDH and how painful it is, and how much it affects families. The world needs to know that. The world needs to know about this monster and why it needs to be stopped, because not every story ends with a child going home and doing well with us featuring them here. Half the stories end up like mine and yours, where we don't have our children beside us to show how we beat CDH, though we are beating CDH ourselves, because we're surviving every day the effects that it has had on us and our families, and keeping their memories alive. And you're doing a lot right now in honoring her, and we appreciate that so much. And I know it's not easy. It's not easy to relive. I told my story a year and a half ago, and I was a blubbering mess. I mean, I'm ugly crying for a good hour and a half on Facebook. It was because I rarely tell my story, so I personally know how difficult it is to share that and relive that, and to do so publicly takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength and a lot of compassion to want to help other families and other babies who are going to go through the same thing. And I know she's very proud of you, and I'm really proud of you, and we really appreciate you doing this. Thank you.
Yeah, this is basically one of my first times. Like, I've said snippets here and there, but there's a lot of things in her story that in that 56 days that I don't fully remember it anymore. Like, I can, like, somebody will say something and I'm like, oh yeah, Teresa went through that. But to remember all of it in, 56 days into 15 minutes.
It's yeah. You did a great job. You did a great job. But then they're right. There is so much more. There are the sleepless nights and the terrifying phone calls and the what ifs and the being thrown into CDH and not having time to prep, like you and me, who children weren't diagnosed, and all of the, if we had known things, all the what ifs. It's grief comes with many, many, many layers. But
Yes, and
you did it.
life afterwards is a new normal, and you have to figure out how to navigate life.
Absolutely.
And I have a 6-year-old now that he knows about his sister, and he's been asking a lot of questions, more and more about what she had, and it's really difficult to explain it to a 6-year-old about life and death, and it shouldn't be this way. We should not have to explain to our children at such a young age about life and death.
You really shouldn't. No child should have their childhood affected by CDH, whether it's the actual patient or a sibling. It's absolutely not fair. It's innocence taken away and replaced by hospital appointments, hospitalizations, and sometimes grief, and it's absolutely not fair. But you're here fighting that with us tonight, and we really appreciate that. And I'm going to have to let you go now because we have to get Gab in, and we will talk again soon. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you.
Thanks, Dawn.
All right.
Okay.
I'll tell you soon. All right. Bye-bye. Okay. Now, Dallas will be in just a second, and we'll get Gab online. Gab's ready to go. Gabrielle Cardon from Utah. She's here, and we'll get her right in. I think